Hey everyone, I'm Timmy Scott, and if you're new here, welcome. So, as you can tell by the title of this video, I want to talk about my paranormal experiences. But first off, I want to address this. Unless you're a Jehovah's Witness, except other religions, there's no set age or, again, religion that says you can't be open to the afterlife, the paranormal, and all that good stuff. There's nothing that says you don't have to be a certain age or a religion. Again, unless you're a Jehovah's Witness. Other than that, that you can't be open to it. There's nothing to believe in. You're either open to it or you're not. I'm just going to leave it at that. Unless you're thinking about being open to it, then that's good. If not, then, well, that's your loss. Whatever. Anyway, I just wanted to say I can't stress that enough. There's no set age or religion, unless you're a Jehovah's Witness, that you can't believe, that you can't be open to the afterlife. So anyway, for me, I'm partly open to it. So, there's people, it's kind of like a scale. There's some people that are partly open to it, and then there's people that can literally see dead people, can see other apparitions and stuff like that from the other side. Those people are what you call mediums, between heaven and earth and all that good stuff. Again, just gonna throw that out there. There's no set age or religion that says you can't be open to it. Or as for my sake, I'm partly open to it. Anyway, I want to talk about my story, my paranormal experience. So, as you know, I used to smoke weed a lot in Chicago. But that was only because I have PTSD. If you don't know what that is, which it's 2018, most people should, is post-traumatic stress disorder. And given what I went through growing up, it led me to be able to, at the time, be open to being able to have that access to having a medical cannabis card to smoke it. You don't need to be, also, you don't need to have cancer to smoke it. Now to come with different variations, different variations. Anyway, don't want to get too off topic here, but yeah. For me, because I smoked a lot, it helped me be pretty open to the other side, the afterlife, the paranormal side. And I mean, I already had that ability to be able to sense people's emotions and stuff like that. Sometimes it can be a blessing, sometimes it can be a curse. But anyway, there's, again, like myself, I was kind of skeptic myself, not so much, but I was into it at the time while I was already smoking. So, I didn't learn this until recently, that Native Americans back in the early centuries, early days, when they were big and not in existence and stuff like that, I didn't know that they smoked marijuana to connect to the dead. Some people are naturally gifted with it, and then there's people like the Native Americans who use it to get themselves open to being connected to the dead. I just did it because I thought it would help with the issues I was going through. And, again, it did, but anyway, whatever. It didn't really heavily, take effect to me until, a few years ago. More like 2-3 years ago. I remember, it's kind of an interesting story. So, there was this place I used to go to. It's not around anymore, but whatever. I remember going there especially because I had access to, because of a friend of mine who worked there at the time. I'm a really intuitive person, regardless if I would have smoked or not. Anyway, I'm a really intuitive person. So, and I've been told that anyway. And I take that as a compliment, because it is a compliment. Anyway, I remember when we would go there, there was a certain section, because there's been deaths that have happened there. And I thought to myself that something in this area doesn't feel right, especially in the basement. Like on the top floor, it was heavy. Like certain sections just felt really creepy. Not necessarily malicious, but just didn't feel right and stuff like that. I can still visualize the memories in my head still. So like when I would want to walk around alone by myself, there's certain sections of the place that just didn't feel right. And even before I met this friend of mine who owned the place, I'd go there in general. Random occasions, wasn't too in tune with it, but whatever. So, again, especially in the basement, there's like a certain section where it felt really, really heavy and it didn't feel good at all. Like, I didn't feel, again, it's not that I didn't feel safe, but it just, an uncomfortable feeling, like, it just felt bad, I guess. Like, again, not malicious, but it didn't feel right. So, but I still like going around in that place, because, I don't know, I guess I just like that feeling, that vibe, I guess. Anyway, I remember then also, we had kind of like a family Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever type of dinner. We had it in one of the rooms, in like a big room, a dance floor. And so I'm having a lot of fun and stuff like that, and running around like I usually did. So my friend brought his 2 dogs, and again, we were on the top floor. It's funny looking at it. Now looking at it, one of the dogs there was no one in the other parts of the rooms, like in the other parts beyond the dance floor, obviously. There was no one else but us people that were in the dance floor for the holiday. So I'm looking at them, and they're just randomly, one of the dogs decided to randomly bark in the hallway into nothing. And I thought to myself, why is she barking? Why is Daisy barking in the hallway? At the hallway. And so, me and one of my other friends, we decided to take a walk with the dogs. This memory still sits with me till this day. So, in that one section I talked about earlier, where it's really heavy, I asked her to take a picture of me in that section. I let her take a picture on my phone. She freaks out. The dog also, that was barking from a little bit ago, takes off. And I said to her, "Hey, wait, you took my phone." She ran off with my phone because what she saw apparently on my phone from taking the picture freaked her out. And again, ran off. And yeah, so again, like I said, there was a couple deaths there. Surprisingly, it stood as long as it did until it got sold out. So that's one of my experiences. Then I started talking to a friend of mine who I live with now. And he had a friend who is a spirit guide. And as we were talking and stuff like that, his spirit guide decides to, I guess, watch over me. Yeah, he decided to watch over me. And so It was one weekend when I'm at my friend's house with along with the two dogs. It was one weekend. It's, again, another memory that will never leave my brain until the day I die. As nighttime comes, they start barking at me. And I thought to myself, why are they barking at me? Like, again, because it's like I said again. I was sort of skeptic, sort of not kind of a type of person with the afterlife and stuff like that. It wasn't necessarily I didn't believe in it or I wasn't open to it. It's just I was kind of a little bit of a skeptic at the time then. So anyway, I thought to myself, why won't they let me get close to them at night? And sure enough, it was my friend's spirit guide watching over me, literally. And that makes a lot of sense. So that was another part. So fast forward to earlier this year in March. I wanted to go to the cemetery by us. I was really heavily into going to the cemetery, especially in the summer. So it's kind of a weird experience I'm going to get into with this. So one night, the night before the full moon, I wanted to go to the cemetery with my friend I live with now. And so we go, and I used to watch these YouTubers who talk about, like, when they're playing with the Ouija board and stuff like that they have this heavy, breathy feeling on their chest and whatever. And I thought to myself, man, wouldn't it be, like, in my head at the time, I thought to myself, man, wouldn't it be cool if that, I thought to myself, it'd be cool if that happened to me. Well, I got my wish. So we're walking in the cemetery at night. People probably do it anyway, but advisable, not really a good idea, but whatever. We're walking at night, and I'm starting to feel that feeling I talked about, where I have that pressure on my chest. And my friend next to me was like, are you okay? Because I can hear the heavy breathing on your chest. And I'm like, kind of not necessarily freaking out in a bad way or anything. It's just, I wasn't really entirely, again, I didn't really think it would actually happen when it did. So it didn't, and, well, again, it was kind of like an adrenaline, I guess. I liked it. Whatever energy we walked through was really heavy and really big and intense and all that. And then we walked by this one section telling us it wasn't a good idea to be there. And so they're pulling in my friends here telling us it's time to just get out because it wasn't safe. And again, at night, especially at late hours, it's really not a good idea. Whatever. So we leave the cemetery, and hard to explain. There's a lot of emotional, overwhelming energy around me. Good, bad, and all that. Not bad, like malicious bad, but just negative energy around me, everything. Mostly good people, though. Mostly the good people that we were around. Anyway, they just wanted to protect me to make sure I'd be safe. Eventually they started thinning out and leaving. But at first they stayed because they wanted to make sure I'd be okay. That was the first night. At like the week I was here and stuff like that. Then the second night comes in. And I had a Coke bottle. None of us, we didn't think anything of it. The energy from the previous night was still in our house. No, they didn't want to do any harm, obviously. They're good spirits, good ghosts. So, I had a Coke bottle. And again, we didn't think anything of it. We had thought to ourselves that, I said to him, let's go again. And my Coke bottle in front of me in the TV room, I'm playing GTA, I wanted to go again. The Coke bottle's in front of me. It's flicking by itself. I thought to myself it was just the air pressure or something like that. But it was still the spirits from the night before warning us it wasn't a good idea to go. So, again, ignored it, didn't really think anything of it, and we decided to leave. Go back the second night. Come to find out, it was a full moon. And in the cemetery and just the dead in general are more active on a full moon, especially on Halloween because that's their night. Anyway, so we go again, and we're by that section from the night before I had mentioned where I had talked about that they pulled on my friend's ear telling us to leave. Yeah, we didn't last no more than about 5 minutes or so. They wanted us to leave again. Because, again, it was a full moon, and we were, like, right under the moon and all that stuff. And anyway, it was really intense and heavy. So, we, unfortunately, had to leave again. And we get back home. Again, I feel the emotional, overwhelming amount of energy on me. And there was about 15 of them. Mostly good, some bad, but again, not malicious, but just negative energy, and then unsure energies that were there from the cemetery. And it was interesting. About a half an hour in, we're just minding our own business, sitting on the couch, watching TV, and I bought that Coke bottle I mentioned a little bit ago. It made the most loudest explosion possible. I wish to myself I could have recorded it, but it came so unexpected. I didn't, again, think anything of it. I mean, joked with them to give me a sign, and sure enough, they gave me one. I didn't expect they would do that. And we about nearly jumped out of our skin because of how loud it was. And it like, you could hear it all throughout the house. That's how loud the explosion was. Again, we were sitting on the couch about a half an hour in after we come back from the cemetery. One of the most loudest explosions of my life. And it's not so much the afterlife, the dead I'm afraid of or anything. It's more the dark. Anyway, whatever. So, it explodes, and I thought to myself, holy crap, what was that? That was really, really loud. And it was just them messing with me. Because again, I did want them to give me a sign, and they gave me a sign. That was one of the most wildest experiences I've had being open to the afterlife. There's nothing to believe in about the afterlife. Religion and Hollywood, like certain religions in Hollywood, like to portray the afterlife as this bad place, as it's bad and all that. Again, religion you don't have to be a certain age or religion to believe in the afterlife. You really don't. And when you cross it over, religion doesn't matter on that side. Even though on this side it's the plane of existence or whatever, unfortunately it's a big deal in this plane of existence, in this reality, in this physical plane. Anyway, again, in the afterlife, religion doesn't matter after that anymore. You're either a good person or a bad person. It's kind of like in this life where certain people, I'm not a threat to people. I don't look like a threat. I'm not a threat. All that. And for the afterlife, when they look at me like anybody else. If they're a white light or a red light, whether they're good or bad. And I have a white light. I'm a good person. Again, I don't come off as a threat to people. So it didn't surprise me, really, the more I got into about the afterlife and stuff, that I'm a white light and I'm not a threat. So that's why on the other side, still protect me. The good people that are on the other side will protect me. So and the afterlife is like this side. There's good and bad people in the world, unfortunately, for the bad part. Anyway, so just my thought, what I wanted to leave out about the afterlife. In case anyone's curious, that's my experience, what I went through about the afterlife, or paranormal activities and all that good stuff. So, pretty sure I have more stories, but at the moment, that's all I got for today's story. So, if you've had some actual, genuine, paranormal experience with the afterlife, leave them in the comments. And again, there's good or bad in the afterlife. There's good or bad people on the other side. Just like this side, obviously. Either we're a white light or a red light to them. Just like, again, good or bad on the other side. There's not just the bad side. Anyway, that might be saved for whole nother video. So, leave it at this again. No age, no set age or religion that says you can't be open to it. There's nothing to believe in. Either you're open to it or not. Or even partly open to it. Partly open to it works too. But, again, either open to it or not. There's nothing that says about believing in it. There's nothing to believe in. I can't stress that enough. I might get into that a little bit more about the afterlife in another video. So, again, I want to hear your experiences with the afterlife. I've seen a lot of people say they've had bad experiences. It's not that bad. The afterlife isn't bad. It's what most religions in Hollywood will tell you that they are. There's got to be bound to be some good experiences people have had. And I've seen videos also, at the same time, that their story wasn't all bad. They could confirm that. I've seen videos like that too. So anyway, again, leave them in the comments. Don't blow smoke up me telling me that all you had was a bad experience with the afterlife. There's got to be some people out there that have had good experiences too. But again, leave a comment. Let me know what paranormal experience you had. I'd like to hear from you. And like I said, I might make another video about the afterlife. Haven't quite gotten around to it yet. So, this video was exceptionally long, but if you made it this far, again, leave a comment. Let me know your experience, again, like I said, with the afterlife, what your paranormal experience was. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.